Christina Kahn,
And I'm Leela Hilton.
and this is Burn Before Reading, the podcast about literature.
We're here to discuss the terrible writing we did when we were younger and some other cringy literary topics.
With us today is Gigi Howard, host of the podcast Drinks in the Library. Gigi, say hello to the listeners.
Hi, so glad to be here.
We are so happy to have you. Guys, Gigi is a fellow local bookish podcaster from our very own Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah.
We were very excited. I think I found you on social media somewhere, and then the very same day, our friend Mary Clay sent us a link and was like, "Do you guys know this person?" And we were like, "No, but I just emailed her."
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. It's nice to meet y'all. Yeah, so I am a real librarian.
Oh, so
My day job is I run a library here in Richmond. And then I started Drinks in the Library. It's a podcast where I interview people about their favorite books and we pair it with a drink. And it's just a lot of fun. It's a great way for me to have these kind of conversations like on the regular, which is what I really love. So I'm excited to do it with y'all tonight.
Us too. And I got to tell you, listeners, you heard it. First of all, Gigi, what are your pronouns?
She, her.
Perfect. You heard it. She's a librarian, and I got to tell you, the glasses you're picturing, those are the right glasses.
Yes.
Yeah, I for real have bad vision, so yeah.
Oh, so does Tina.
Look at us three. Leela, you got glasses
I'm a
on too,
faker.
girl.
Yeah, no, but I'm a faker. That's just because I have no makeup on and I look like death. So.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Wait, so you use glasses as like a mask to hide
Yes.
your
Indeed.
That's so interesting because I think that I look like super shit without glasses or makeup, and I thought that was just because I was used to my glasses face, but I wonder if that's more universal than that.
I also wear them if like I'm on like a work meeting when I know I'm gonna cry. So that way I like to tell myself people can't tell I'm crying.
I mean, it's definitely obfuscated. Are they at least blue light glasses?
Yeah, they're blue lights.
Okay, I was gonna say, bitch, if they're not doing anything for you.
No, they're blue lights. If that's even real at this point, who knows?
Real.
My eyes always hurt.
It is real.
So
it is real.
fake.
Hang on, how often are you crying in work meetings?
Oh, it's a whole thing.
Okay, so not that much, but it does happen from time to time.
Leela, you gotta tell people that you're a big crier.
All right, I'm a pretty emotional person, some may say.
She sent me the lamest Facebook reel you've ever seen in your life, and she said I'm sobbing, and I didn't even answer because I was like, girl.
You don't like it?
It felt mean to just answer, wow.
It was about daddy issues, and I don't even have any. Anyway, yeah, I'm a Pisces, and I'm emotionally unstable, so I wear my heart on my sleeve.
And you wear your glasses on your face.
And I wear my glasses on my face to obscure my tears.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
So if I cry, which I don't participate.
You're not gonna.
I don't participate. I don't anticipate myself doing this episode. That would be crazy. If I do, just know that it's not personal.
You've only cried on
and
the
I'm
show
okay.
once or twice, and I'm trying to remember why, because neither one was very good.
It was probably like about something serious, right? I don't know. No, it was, I think somebody talked about something tender and sweet, and it was too much for my heart.
I said she's crying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway.
We're so annoying.
Yeah, I cry. I'm actually a crier myself. Not often at work, but every once in a while, you know.
Yeah, it's sometimes, and you know when you're like fighting it, there's no use. When you're like, get back in there.
Are you guys angry criers? Because I'm the kind of person where if I get mad, I'm crying, and that's so fucking annoying to me.
I am an angry crier.
Why can't I just get pissed?
It's so embarrassing. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I just cry very, very, very easily, like a kitten being alive, and I'll
I agree.
It's so beautiful.
Kittens are so beautiful. I wish mine was in her co-pilot seat that I have for her right there.
Oh.
I cry a lot this time of year thinking about outdoor cats.
Oh
yeah, I know.
Yes,
I know.
Well, luckily our friend Anna got a heated shelter going for her street cat for this crazy storm we've had. Well, less crazy every day, but
yeah. Well, like the wind chill's supposed to be like 3 tonight or something like that. So,
Yeah, y'all, we were supposed to record this episode in person. I was really stoked to have a local podcaster to record with in person. And
Yeah.
then we had the most unexpected, amazing snow weather forecast, snow and winter weather forecast that Virginia has ever seen. And then kind of nothing happened except for like a sheet of ice.
yeah. So we can't leave. Yeah, we're all pretty much
Yeah.
stuck at home. Yeah.
Absolutely not. My street hasn't even been plowed, which is crazy.
Hmm.
Yeah. Mine either. I tried to take a winter walk to be cute yesterday, and also because I was like going fucking
Yeah.
crazy. And it was like taking a walk in like the hard like the worst part of the sand on the beach. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. When you're the only thing that's keeping you going is the sight of the ocean in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went out today. I have to go outside for approximately 20 feet to get to my laundry room, and I was doing laundry today, and the ice held up my body weight. It held up my whole body weight, and it did
Wow.
not crack, which was crazy.
Yeah.
And you fell one time, is this correct?
I fell 0 times.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you saw your life flash before your eyes or something.
I almost ate shit on the icy stairs down to my laundry room, but I
I see.
survived. It
Very
was so
scary.
hard that I was alone. It was one of those moments where I was alone and I was like crying laughing because of how silly it was. And I was like, why am I doing this today? The answer is because I've been sick and I feel better today, so I had to wash my sheets. Do you guys know that
Mm.
feeling?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I can't possibly get back into my sick bed.
yeah. Very fair.
Yeah.
So anyway, Leela, let's start with you. What's been cringing you out lately?
Okay, so as soon as the temperatures dropped and plummeted on Sunday, aka yesterday,
Yeah, because on Saturday I took a walk in short
yeah,
sleeves.
it was like a high of 52. I was like, what's happening? Um, on Sunday, as soon as temperatures plummeted, like a couple hours after that, we tried to do laundry. And or maybe it was Saturday night, like right when the storm started. And all of a sudden we heard this like crazy splashing. It's like never a great sign to hear in your home. And
Unless Jason's in the bath.
splish splash. Um, and it's the pipe or that empties the water, like drains the water, I don't know, under your house or whatever the fuck. It
Okay.
just was completely blocked. So it was just spitting it all back up onto the floor all over.
Was it
So
ice?
that's what I was wondering. I was like, is it I because it that would have happened so fast, but
Yeah.
Jason got a straightened out a wire hanger and was like poking to see what it was. He like tried to go under the house. It was dark and cold,
Oh,
and basically all we did was we just like waited, and then it worked. After we stopped up all the water, it like worked.
wow.
But then yeah, last night it happened again, and I think it is ice. And
Sounds
then
like you
also
maybe need to not do laundry right now.
Yep. And then also when he looked under, except the problem is we used every single towel in my house to sop it
Oh,
up. So when I took a shower today, I used a washcloth to dry myself. It was so cold.
it's survivalist energy out here right now.
I hate it. And what are we gonna do? There's no way we could get anyone to fix it or anything for probably until next week, I'm thinking. So
Yeah,
anyway,
it's
it's a
hard out
pain.
here. It's hard out here when it freezes in the south, y'all.
Yeah, we are not built for it. Jason checked under our house to see what that pipe looked like, and it's held together with duct tape.
Wow.
Great, that's our home we bought, so.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. My thoughts and prayers for your plumbing.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Gigi, what's been cringing you out lately?
I am like sitting over here racking my brain. I don't want to like anything I say is like going to be too honest about like
Oh.
spilling the tea.
Oh my God. Okay, so you can go super honest and our listeners will love you right away. Or you could say something really broad and then our listeners will love you slowly over the next 75 minutes.
I don't know. A lot of things been going on in this country right now, if I'm being really honest.
So
And
true.
I would say it's much more horrible than cringing me out. It's making me very upset. And
Yeah.
We use the term cringe pretty loosely.
yeah, so I mean, really, honestly, everything else in my personal life is going pretty good, and I
Well,
don't know if that's endearing
congrats.
to tell people how happy you are. So,
It's good to have a little change on the show instead of all
yeah.
doom and gloom. On the bonus show, our Patreon bonus show, we start with what's been bringing you joy lately. And we have found that
Okay.
those are not as fun.
No,
Yeah, they're
yeah.
not.
Yeah, nobody is excited. Like people love to get in on like whatever is negative. But yeah, everything is been the last year has been kind of tough in library land, I guess when you
Oh my
talk about
God.
um
Mm.
book banning, and I mean that's really been going on like for the last 5 years, and
Yes, we
we
did
are
an episode in October or maybe it was September last year during Banned Books Week with
hmm
someone from like the Goochland Library Banned Books Club.
yeah.
So, yeah, it's not good out there.
Yeah, no, not at all. And so yeah, I'm very anti-censorship. I'm very pro intellectual freedom. So
Hell yeah.
yeah, so we'll go with that. How about that?
Okay, we love it. I mean, we hate it, but we love that as a cringe.
What's been cringing you out, Tinta?
I've been sick. I get to use it.
All right.
Everyone is sick right now also. Well, that's the thing. I mean, me and Leela are in a group chat with like 8 of our best friends, and you should see every single day it's like that guy from Atlantis being, all right, who's not dead? Because every single day a new person is sick. And some of our friends, like our friends Becca and Mia, have been sick like 3 different times. Like Becca had strep for like 10 days, got an antibiotic, went through the antibiotic course, felt good for like 3 days, and then got strep again.
Wow.
Mia has a 2-year old. No, he's one. Mia has a 1-year old and is like, I don't know, the both of them just keep passing something back and forth, back and forth. So really, I got the easiest of it because I don't have children and we were already snowed in, so I had no plans. But being sick is gross. My body is running out through my nose, my whole
hmm
body, you know? It's like, where do these boogers come from? I did that thing where I was just like watching Downton Abbey in a stupor with like a tissue up both my nostrils because blowing my nose hurt too much.
Yeah.
Rough out here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
There's
I'm recovered now.
You
Good.
never take, I always, during when it's only when I'm sick that I'm like, I've been taking for granted being able to freely breathe through my nostrils this
Yes.
whole freaking time.
Yeah, and
It sucks.
I'm a big what's it called? Like Afrin hoe. That is
Yeah.
like magic nose spray that will just make all your boogers evaporate. But it is like super habit forming. And they tell you not to do it more than twice in 24 hours. So I do it before I go to bed at night so I can breathe through the night. And then I did it before this recording so that I could sound okay. But I would do that all day long if I could. I'm an
Uh,
Afrin slut.
well, had an appointment with my doctor last week, and she said for all the flu that's going around, she said go ahead and get Zicam, and if you start getting any symptoms, just go ahead and take it. So
Okay, wait, your doctor said that?
that's what she told me last week.
Okay.
She still go ahead and get it now. So
I've
I have,
heard mixed things about Zicam, so I'm happy to know that your doctor recommended it because people have told me
yeah.
that's fake and it doesn't work. So
Oh,
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to tell you her name.
don't tell us her name, but she is a doctor.
She is a legit doctor, and
Okay.
she said to go ahead and get it because everybody's coming in with the flu now. So
So
there's
true.
my tip,
Yeah.
health
Okay.
Okay.
tip. Yeah.
All right. Hopefully I can just smell. I know it's January. I can just slash February. I can just smell spring on the winds.
Yes.
Every day we're one step closer to my birthday, which is July 22nd.
Oh, fine. Oh,
One
so
step
you're
closer.
solstice. Yeah, solstice.
I think it is the day after the solstice.
Okay. But
Yeah,
very close. Like
it
you're,
is.
yeah,
It's very close. I was born in high summer. I'm a
perfect.
summer girly.
It's the best time.
Well, we're here to talk about. We said we were gonna do this book eventually,
Yep.
and I was like, "This will be fun. Cringe is fun." But never has shiterature ever meant more on this show than it does today. Upon which we have read, for your entertainment, listeners, 50 Shades of Grey. which is a book. That's what my review on Storygraph says. This is a book.
Hmm.
When was that written?
I wrote that today.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it's giving strong like 2010s
No, I wrote
energy.
that today. I gave it 1 star and I said, "This is a book."
Indeed, it is.
This book is awful. Okay, so anyway, Gigi, tell us about your experience as a librarian or as a reader or perhaps as a film viewer with 50 Shades of Grey.
Okay. Well, so you brought this idea to me. Usually I'm talking to people about books they love. So you were like, no, we do like kind of
What
cringy
about a book
things.
you hate?
Yeah. And I'm also like very careful. Like I don't want to insult people and be like, your favorite book, I hate it. So
Sure.
that's the line I walk regularly. So, but then I was like, 50 Shades of Grey, I have such an experience with it as a librarian. So let's go back in time to 2012.
Woo, 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 woo.
I I am a baby librarian. I have just barely been working. And 50 Shades of Grey comes out. So do y'all know like she originally published it on fanfiction.net and then it
Where it
got published.
belongs.
Yeah. And then it got published. Then she self-published it, and I think she sold like 100,000 copies before it got picked up. Um,
Absolutely bonkers
yes,
numbers on this book.
yes, absolutely bonkers. So anyway, it came out in 2012 was when it was like finally. I forget who the publisher was
It's
on it, but
vintage books.
Vintage Books. And it was absolutely crazy. Since then, I've had other books that we've had in the library where we get like these holds lists that are like 1,000 people long. But this was
Hmm.
really my first one. And, it's just kind of wild when people are coming in again and again and again. They want 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades of Grey. And yeah, and the media could not let it go. Like it
Mm.
was all over the news. Like if you look back, there's any stories and it's all like the newscasters being like, "Ha ha, you won't believe what people are reading
You won't
now."
believe what your grandma's reading.
Yeah. And I looked this up because I know my friend would be like mortified if she knew I was like telling this story publicly and you could go find it. But so one of my friends who was also a librarian was working and like I forget like Channel 12 like burst into the library and was like I we want to interview some librarians about
Oh my God.
50 Shades of Grey.
I guess
And-
if it gets people talking about libraries.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, and so anyway, it was just kind of a weird situation and like I was we were both still like in our 20s like didn't know what we were doing. And so she talks, she was on the news and like she was so mortified and like she kind of got in a little bit of trouble because like our director was like, yeah, please do not talk to the media. But anyway, she was on the news and it was like, it's very erotic.
She's not wrong.
She's not wrong. But anyway, it's always been my favorite. So anyway, like you have those stories with your partner where like you just like have that little quip. And so we'll always be
Yes.
like, it's very erotic.
Okay, I
Um,
love that. So did this pique your curiosity? Did you have to read it at the time?
I did read it. And so preparing for this, I went back and looked. I have the email from the library that my hold was ready to be picked up on June 6th, 2012. So that's apparently when I read it.
Okay.
And I read it with one of my best friends. We'll read books together. And yeah, we both were like you, we were both English majors. And we were like, this is horrible.
Yeah. Leela's actually a Spanish major, so she's got nothing on this book.
Nothing, nada.
But anyhow, yeah, so I did read it. I mean, I don't know if we really I think most people like know the story. It's Anna Steele and Christian Grey and basically
Steel
like
gray.
yes, and he becomes obsessed with her immediately and then goes from there. But there was a couple things that like I wanted to bring up like as a librarian on this book. So the we were just talking about book banning, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you are maybe like not super familiar with libraries, not saying for y'all, but like for the listener, like when they're talking about book banning, that's not us banning the book. That
Mm-hmm.
is the book, that is somebody in the community, some kind of action, civil or political action group coming for the book. It's
Yeah,
not
we talked
libraries.
about how it's a lot more about book challenges, not like
Yeah,
book banning. And if I'm gonna pop the link to our banned books weeks episode with Mary Payton from Wild Thing Press in the show notes if y'all need a refresher on book challenges and banned book stuff.
perfect. So anyway, but 50 Shades of Grey was the first time that I've ever heard of that a library banned the book.
Whoa!
Wow.
So, yeah, it was this whole story. It was in Brevard County, Florida.
I've been there.
And you've been there?
Yeah, I did
Okay.
Habitat for Humanities there in college.
Whoa!
But yeah, you can look it up. And so I guess they had copies of it in the library. And then they decided that it was too risque and they were taking it out. Of course, there was like so much backlash from the community, but it's just wild to me as a librarian where we're like so passionate about freedom of speech, of taking out, because there is so much other stuff in all collections that's equally risque. Like 50 Shades of
Yeah.
Grey is not the first risque book.
We were talking in our New Year's episode about how I studied a lot of literature in college. I've read a lot of literature I didn't want to. And something that I've noticed is that, and I'm so sorry to say this twice in 2 months on the podcast, twins always fuck in literature. If there's twins, they like almost always fuck each other. Like Game of Thrones, God of Small Things. Like,
Uh-huh.
so if you start reading like real literature, there's fucked up sex stuff in there.
Yeah. All kind and yeah, so and there's all kinds of crazy things, but yeah, I just thought that was absolutely wild that an actual library would ban the book, and so but yeah, there was pushback, and it came back. It was only like 1 or 2 months that it was out of circulation, but
Yeah, I guess libraries aren't really beholden the same way a business is to like what the market wants as much. They're not like losing money,
mhm.
right? By
Y-
removing a
y-
bestseller.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, I definitely have people come to me and tell me that their taxes pay my salary.
Oh,
And I
Mm.
mean, is that obnoxious? Yes, but they're not wrong.
it's
I
true.
mean,
That's why
so
no book should be banned.
exact,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So we definitely care about having bestsellers on, like if it's popular, it should be on the shelf. That's what
Because
we're here
people
for.
have the right to read it from their library.
Exactly. Yeah. So, anyway, that was an interesting story that I saw. And then also just kind of going into like how the rise of fan fiction that 50 Shades of Grey was the beginning of. Have y'all talked about fan fiction on the show before?
We have dabbled. We actually recently dubbed 2026 the year of fanfic on our podcast. Because we want to get into it. We very recently covered a much better written erotic fan fiction
Yeah.
about dildo faggins, Lord of the Rings fanfic,
Okay.
which our friend Danny wrote. So yes, we have totally dabbled and will continue to dabble so much harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I think is interesting, so um she, like I said, wrote this on fanfic.net, which is,
Author E.L. James. What does the E.L.
yes.
stand for? Get to
I
me.
think her real name is Erica. So,
Erica. The L might
yeah.
just be an L.
Yeah, I think it's, and her last name isn't really James. I think it's Mitchell.
It is yours. Yep.
Um, but she hid that for a long time. Like even after the book came out, she would go and interviews. To prepare for this, I kind of went back and I would like do Google searches, but I would just pull things like only from 2011. Like I
Oh,
only want
nice.
to read articles from 2011. Then I only want to read articles from 2012 to kind of like remember how this all happened, because
Yeah.
now it's such like a thing that's in the culture and we all seen the movies or whatever, but just to go back and remember how crazy it was at the time.
Mm-hmm. And I think
Um,
that her calling herself EL made her seem like this enigmatic author.
uh-huh.
Like, who is this sex queen.
Well, it's the same thing that as we call her on this pod, Sleepy Joanne, J.K. Rowling did,
Uh-huh.
where she was advised that like if she wanted boys to want to read her book, that she needed to
Mm.
make it more of a a J.R.R. Tolkien type of
Yeah, and
name.
E.L. James is giving masculine.
It does,
It
yeah.
is.
And
It
it
is.
sounds much more esteemed
Then
for
Erica Mitchell.
sure.
I went to high school with someone named Erica Mitchell. Not really, but it sounds like it.
I literally know a bitch named Erica Mitchell that I kicked out of my
Oh
wedding.
my God.
So, yeah.
Real quick, I gotta say on Wikipedia, it says E.L. James, Erica Mitchell, pen names. She has two pen names listed. One,
Okay.
obviously, E.L. James.
Mhm.
Two, Snow Queen's Ice
That's what
Dragon.
I was gonna.
Oh, I stole your story.
That was her pen. That was the original fanfiction.net
Come a
Makes
pen.
fucking
sense.
again, E.L. James. You know the publisher said, no, bitch, you're not snow queening up in this.
It's also in no way a fantasy novel in any way.
No.
No. Yeah, no. So, yeah, so she wrote it there and then it came out. But then in the meantime, so and I don't can we spill the tea that y'all are coming on Drinks in the Library
Oh,
and
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we are so excited. Catch us next week on Drinks in the Library, y'all, talking about what is frankly, I feel today, a very good, well-written book with good morals.
Honestly, comparatively, I was just telling Tina that this book makes that author feel like Oscar Wilde.
Yeah,
Like,
she's yeah, by comparison.
yeah.
This 50 Shades is an embarrassing facsimile of the original.
yes. So if the listener is not aware, and I've got it right here,
Oh my
50,
God,
50 Shades of
our
Grey
Bible.
is fan fiction of Twilight. So originally, Bella Swan turns into Anna Steele, and then Edward is Christian. So obviously, and at the time, like there was a lot of drama around the fact that this was fan fiction. Like there was a blogger that was saying like um you've this is plagiarism and there was like a lot of pushback. I think initially like the publishers like tried to hide the fact that it was originally fan fiction because it was such like people had never heard of that before. And then to see the change that we have now with writers like Ali Hazelwood, which is
Yep.
well known fan fiction from Star Wars, and then also all the Hermione fan fiction that's come out. With Alchemized, have y'all read that one yet?
No, but
It's
I've heard a lot about it.
yeah, and
It's a lot of Harry Potter fan fiction is getting more notoriety now that people don't want to be supporting the author,
yes,
which I
yeah,
love. Make it
yeah,
your own, babes.
100%, yes. And they're also, there's a lot of great things, obviously, about fan fiction. Like it brings in marginalized characters and writers as well. But just it's been such a huge shift in the times since 2012 when this came out that this was like unheard of to now where it's like almost, I mean, I think publishers are now going to AO3, the fanfic website, and finding new authors from it to
Yeah,
do the same thing.
it's definitely a fine line. I think for me, a big part of the problem is like if you are inspired, for example, by the characters of Harry Potter and you write this fan fiction that is like so barely based in the world and the characters of Harry Potter, but you're telling your own like totally different story.
Mm-hmm.
Like that story is your own kind of, and you can like manipulate the world, manipulate the characters enough to make your own. I have a problem with 50 Shades because I've made a series of Venn diagrams but 50 Shades to Twilight comparisons and like it just like is the same story. There
Mm-hmm.
is not original content here.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
almost beat for beat. The only difference being that the first act breakup in New Moon is the third act breakup in the finale breakup in 50 Shades basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, I I think maybe you might be more familiar with those beats than I am, but I will like fan fiction's been around forever. I mean, Shakespeare no, only 34 of his stories were original stories.
Oh
Like
yeah, a lot of
and
Greek play. Uh, was it
Fanfic.
fanfic? Yeah.
yeah, so lots of that. I mean, there was
That was
Arthur
back
Car
when copyright was like not a thing. Like they
Yeah.
were like
right.
Shakespeare, you're the king. You can do whatever you want.
Right, exactly. So it's really only become like in the last since copyright has become a thing.
Now that we have a copyright office,
Right,
law
exactly.
office.
Yeah, so
Very
it's
interesting.
really grown and changed quite a bit. I mean, there
Yeah.
was oh my gosh, to prepare for this, I did like a crazy deep dive into like all the different kind of fanfics and it's like so funny about how it's always like Star Wars, Star Trek. There's so much fanfic on
Oh.
Star Trek and it always it very quickly becomes sexual.
People wish people like individuals can do what like big media companies cannot, which is make their
hmm
characters fuck on page.
hmm Yeah. Yeah. So that happens quite a bit, but yeah, it and so I think it remains to be seen. I mean, with the rise of AO3 to making fan fiction so easily accessible and to make it so people can write and have their stories out there, I think it's going to become even bigger than it is right now. So
Yeah.
TBD.
Definitely I think like I mean, I'm not that familiar with copyright law. I actually tried really hard to learn about it when I was working in fiction, and it's pretty hard to learn about. But I'm gonna guess that we're gonna need to keep consistently updating those standards as books and media and fanfic develop. And
Yeah,
also like a big part of it is like who's making money on it and like how are they making money? You know, like if
right.
you're getting paid for a copy of a book that you wrote that you ripped the plot from another book, that's different from people paying your Patreon so that you can keep writing because they like
Mm-hmm.
reading what you're publishing. I don't know, it's different. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying one is right and one's wrong, but there's different levels of it. Or versus all of the wonderful fanfic writers who are just putting their shit out there for free because that's what they like to do.
Yeah, and lots of authors have different, I think like J.K. Rowling, for example. I'm sorry,
Mhm.
what is the term that y'all call for
We Leela dubbed her Sleepy Joanne.
Okay, I'll go with it. Sleepy Joanne. Um,
We've called her a lot of things over the years, and that's been the one that stuck.
okay. I think she's okay with fan fiction as long as you're not profiting from it.
Hmm.
And there's like just different, but then some uh what is it? I'm getting J.R. Rowling mixed up with
The Tolkien estate.
George R. Martin. That's who I'm
Oh,
thinking. Yeah, he's very anti fan fiction, but
or like Anne Rice, the author of Interview with the Vampire, was
mhm.
notoriously litigious about people writing heaps and heaps and heaps of super gay, super erotic fan fiction
Right.
until she got old and got cool and was like, wait, just kidding. I support the queers. And now she's a queer icon in death. So how's
Yeah.
that for character development?
Yeah. So anyhow, those are like my librarian takes on some of the interesting things around it. Also, if you didn't know, so the cover of Fifty Shades of Grey, that like the gray
The
tie,
tie.
the tie,
The
s-
tie.
that was a big deal for E.L. James that her covers did not have like bodice ripping, like kind of traditional
Mm, they don't
romance
look
covers.
like a romance novel. Back
Yeah.
in the day before romance novels looked like Emily Henry,
Right. Yeah.
because that's what
But
they all look like now.
right, exactly. But a lot of so then after that, you can see there's like a trend in romance covers to start looking more like that subdued look that 50 Shades of Grey has. So
Very
that was also
interesting.
interesting. Yeah.
Well, if it's 50 Shades of Grey, your cover has to be in grayscale.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to say it is a boring cover.
hmm
There's nothing to it,
Like not
really.
to be this way. I think maybe tell me if you guys experience this as a woman who is attracted to men. I've
hmm
dated men throughout my life and but like my generation works a lot differently from how my parents' generation worked. So to me, ties remind me of my dad. They just do.
Uh-huh.
My mans do not wear ties. My boyfriend's a programmer. He wears sweatpants every day. Even if he goes into the office, he wears his nice sweatpants.
I don't know. My husband does wear ties, so I
Okay.
but so does my dad. So
Ugh.
yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
do you mind if I ask what your husband does that he wears ties?
He works for the state. I will
I
say that.
see. Okay, that is an unusual circumstance. Now,
Yes.
Leela's husband is an underemployed photographer, so I know he's not wearing ties.
No. No. And he does like school pictures and preschool pictures. So he walks in wearing crazy like
Oh.
tie-dye colors and like
Woo!
Pikachu t-shirts and
He
stuff.
has to
So
because he's like 6'3". He's gotta
yeah. And they're
he's
like,
gotta wear the
ah,
Pikachu.
scary man.
But yeah, I feel that whenever my boyfriend puts his dress up leather shoes on, I'm like, Dad, 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 Dad.
Not daddy, dad.
Not daddy. This is my dad. um, Leela, what is your 50 Shades history? If I remember correctly, doesn't your family have a funny story about
Oh
50
yeah.
Shades?
Um, okay, so okay. I read this, it must have been also in 2012. I remember it was a hot summer and I lived in an unair conditioned house.
Yep. My
Tough
memory
time
is
to read
also from the
erotica.
hot summer.
Um, probably the same one. And I started reading it and I couldn't get through it at the time. I think that it was um I definitely was like a pure like, oh, I'm like too good for this like type of stuff in terms
I
of the
feel
writing
you.
style. And then also I think that the abuse was just even to an idiot like what how old I however old I was, 22, 21 year old, like I was like this is just so clearly abuse like this
Yeah, but
and it's not written that way.
you also Google porn where the guys are nice to the girls, so
That
you have
is my
always been
preferred porn.
sensitive.
I do not like mean boy sex. So, I didn't I didn't when am I do not did not complete pile or whatever the fuck.
hmm
Um,
DNF did not
DNF.
finish. Did not
But
fuck.
that summer, I believe I was out at the Cheesecake Factory with my bubby. Our favorite
Throwback.
place to go for lunch, splitting a big old chopped salad
Mm, sounds good.
and she was like, Layla, after this, we gotta go to Barnes and Noble because there's something wrong with my Kindle. And I was like, oh, okay, well, what are you reading lately? And she was like, with her glasses like this, 50 Shades.
Wait,
And I was
I
like,
have a
okay.
clarifying question really quick.
Yes, yes.
Was it actually a Kindle or was it a Nook?
Yeah,
The
it would have
Nook
been a
is
no.
the Nook is
Oh.
owned by Barnes and Noble, but I believe a grandma would take a Kindle to a Barnes and
It's
Noble.
true. I have no idea.
Okay, that's fine.
Either one is completely
Okay, that's
possible.
fine.
Um, and I was like, wow. And she's like, have you read it? And I was like, I started to read it. And she was like, you have to finish reading it, Leela. It's very good. It's very hot. And she was like,
Oh
and
my
I was
God.
like, let's talk about anything else. And then she's famous for that though. She's a real zesty grandma. We all love sassy, zesty grandmas, you know.
Foxy grandma.
Yeah. So then we went to Barnes and Noble after lunch, and I knew she was gonna do the exact same fucking song and dance with the people there, you know, the teenagers or
It's
whoever
very
was
erotic.
very erotic. And they did the same thing, and they were like, and she's like, guess she was, I think, hoping they would guess, ask what she was reading, and she was like, guess what I'm reading. I was like covering my face, and they were like,
What's
what are you
everyone reading
reading,
this
ma'am?
summer?
And she was like, 50 Shades. And they were like, oh, wow. And she's like, it's very erotic.
Oh, is
And
it?
it's very, very good. You should read it. It's not like anything I've ever read. And so that's like always kind of what I associate it with now too. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
50 Shades is a grandma book. Um,
So, Leela, walk us
yeah.
through this attempt at reading 50 Shades for this episode.
Okay. All right. So, so this time I was like, I am a busy girl. Typically, I'm very active. I take lots of walks. I work out a lot. I cook. When there's something I don't want to read, it's easier for me to do audiobook. you
Hmm.
know? So, I was like, I'll just do the audiobook. It's probably going to be so cringy, but it's already going to be cringy either way. It'll be fine. So I purchased the audiobook and then I started listening to it on my walk and I was like, this narrator is really British. I don't remember that. It's very odd. And I kept reading and I was like, it's very tongue in cheek and they're making a lot of like bad jokes. And I was like, is this AI? They keep saying 50 sheds instead of 50 shades. It took me until the end of it was a 30-minute satire called 50 Shades of Grey. I listened to the whole fucking thing. I was like, surely it'll like get serious soon. We haven't even met Anna.
I love that. I love that so
Honestly,
much.
it was much better written than the real one. I highly recommend 50
I mean,
Shades of Grey.
dude, these long rambling books, making them 30 minutes, that would improve a lot.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
guy was just addicted to sheds. So stupid.
So I don't have like a very good origin story, but this is listeners, can you please pray for me, light a candle for me, do whatever you need so that I never have to read this again because this is my third time reading this book.
You've read it
Tina,
3 times?
no.
I am like so I'm so susceptible to like wanting to read something so that I can know what people are talking about. I just so I have a vivid memory of listening to the audiobook of this. It's if you go to my Audible app today, it's still the only book in there because I don't use Audible because Amazon sucks. But I listened to it when I was cleaning pools in 2012, and I remember that I was listening to one of the one of the scenes and my like 8 years older male boss like spooked me at the pool and I like jumped like 8 feet into the air because I was sure he was gonna know what I was listening to. And I was like, wow, that was pretty bad. And then like 5 years later, I was like, maybe I reading it will be better. Maybe the narrator just sucks. And the narrator doesn't suck. I want to give a huge shout out to the narrator of the audiobook,
Her name's
whatever her
Becca
name is.
something.
It is Becca something. I'm pulling up my story graph right now so I can tell y'all. Um,
Her guy voice is not good,
It's not her fault. None of this is
but
her fault, Leela.
you know how
Read
like
by Becca Bateau.
back at the toe. You know how yeah, like when women are like talking shit about their like male significant others, how they'll do like a dumb
Oh
man
yeah.
voice.
Oh,
That's like the voice she does. She's like, and that's not only the only thing I thought, Anna. Like it's
it's
like
not her
very tough
fault.
to get past.
Imagine, Leela, imagine having to come up with 600 different ways to deliver the line. Oh my.
Yeah, it was I felt myself like I felt like eggs dying. Like I felt not only was I
Yes,
so
I told
dry,
yes.
like my eggs were drying up. Every time she said oh my, every time she said holy crap or holy cow.
Okay, I wrote them down. I wrote them all down.
Okay, okay, give
Holy
it to us.
Moses, a lot of
Holy
holy Moses.
Moses.
I wish I could have my vagina surgically removed so there's nothing tying me to Anastasia Steele. This is horrible. Um okay. We have to talk about some real stuff.
Okay.
I would like to present you guys with one of my many Venn diagrams. I'm gonna drop it in the
Please.
chat. Let me know if you can access it. It's handwritten, so sorry. I didn't have
Okay.
time to
All right,
type
I
them.
seen it.
I did
Okay.
a Venn diagram of Anastasia Steele versus Bella Swan.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm reading it.
It's almost all in the middle, if you could believe it. So clumsy. Um, what? Wait, clumsy for the during the character intro, but then not again for the whole rest of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, Bella, I feel like is constantly
No, in the
no?
first, okay, perhaps in the first book, but in kind of
Yeah.
like all of the rest of the book, she's not.
She just refers to herself as clumsy, I
Exactly.
think.
It's like
Yeah.
something about me, which and what goes along with that is I don't dance.
Yes.
Huh?
I
Only
got
reads
two left feet. Yeah.
only reads classic British literature and therefore expects her first relationship ever, which will also be her last relationship ever, to fall into the tropes of this like romantic classic British literature that she's always reading.
Mm-hmm.
younger than him. Um, only children, parents are split. Silly mom, and just that one dad trying his best.
The silly mom and the serious, awkward
Yes.
stepdad
Who
was
shows up though?
very obvious to me. The
Not
silly
only
mom
what,
thing pissed me off.
not only white but pale,
Of course.
sexually inexperienced, and also romantically inexperienced. Like he can show you the world. It's a
Yeah.
real like interpretation of the born sexy yesterday trope where they weren't
Yes.
born sexy yesterday, but they were sexually awakened yesterday, and now they belong to you because you taught them how to have
Uh-huh.
sex or how to be in a relationship.
Yeah. Well, and I'm having a memory too of like I said, my friend and I read this book and we're like, obviously this is insane. This is terrible. But I was like at lunch with someone I knew and she loved 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
And she goes to me, I just wish someone would love me like that.
In a
No.
predatory way.
Oh
I
no.
That's
and I
really
was
bad.
like, I don't know.
How do you even respond to that?
I mean,
Honey, this is abuse.
very
If it's your good friend, honey, this is abuse. If it's someone you don't know very well, say, then I hope you find it.
I
Yeah.
sure hope you find what you're looking for.
I think I probably said something like, I just don't find it very realistic at all. And it's not my, I don't know. I was a lot younger. I might have been more direct now.
Yeah, I totally get you there.
Yeah.
Um, I'm just a Converse and jeans kind of girl. I got to a point
Oh
where I
my
started writing down
God.
direct quotes from the book.
She
Um,
says that specifically in the book.
yes, Anna
Oh
Steele
my
says I'm a
God.
Converse and jeans kind of girl. Doesn't drink, doesn't party, and all of the boys want her total Mary Sue. Like,
Yeah, for what?
why do they want her when she's a nothing burger?
I was like,
Um,
I'm reading this and I'm like, is it's has the Twilight effect where you're like, is she just like being coy or like is she just super and we know she's insecure, but like is she actually like the most beautiful woman in Seattle? Like I don't
I don't know.
understand.
I like Bella Swan so much more than Anna.
Yeah, and she's not a likable
She's not a likable
character.
character. We're not over. It's not. I have vastly exceeded the limit of space that I had in this Venn diagram. In my next two Venn diagrams, I learned to make the middle section a lot bigger. Quote, I don't understand this feeling, and it's just being horny.
Yeah.
Quote, I've never felt this way before, often damseled, and they are not only submissive, which we talked about this a lot in our Twilight episodes. Bella is also a submissive. Not only a submissive, but a part of the submissive subcategory called little girl slash brat. They're both brats,
Mhm.
which is like this book thinks that it is so sexually woke, but it doesn't actually call what they're doing what it actually is. She's not a sub. She's a brat, which is a sub that has a fucking mouth about it the whole time. Call it what he's like, you can't be a sub because you talk back. Okay, Christian Grey, have you been to www.google.com? Because you can learn a lot about what a brat is. Bella is
You know,
also a brat.
you know who hasn't been to www.google.com?
Anastasia Steele.
Fucking Anastasia.
I have always cited that as my number one issue with this series is that Leela and I were both in college in 2011. Gigi, I'm not sure about you, but it was probably the same ballpark.
Mhm.
We just had computers. Like Anastasia
Yeah.
still has no idea what a computer is.
Like email is such like an important part of being a productive college student.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
email alone.
Blackboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you mean? My own email address? Wow. Like what
And
are
then
you talking about?
On top of that, Gigi, tell me, did you read this with your eyes or with your ears?
I think I read it with my eyes
Okay.
at the time. Yeah.
Leela and I both listened to the audiobook, and it is a nightmare having to hear the timestamp, email address,
Yes.
and subject header of every email they exchange because there's
Oh,
dozens and
yes.
dozens. And like, this book just was so obviously written by an old lady because why don't they have cell phones?
But they
No
do.
one,
She has a BlackBerry.
she's not, why aren't they texting each other?
She's only using it for email,
They're
right?
emailing what texts are. I bought drugs in 2011. I wasn't doing that on email. I was texting.
Yeah.
Um, I in fact we talked a lot, Leela, about how much Bella Swan's cringe swears upset us, but I would take
Yes.
1,000 cruds to one more oh my.
Oh my.
Bella says
That's
crud, and remember that one time she's like, "That's he really cruds me off," or like something.
yeah.
I don't remember exactly what it is.
It was just like learn how to swear, you Mormon. It was that
Just
type of
stop
vibe.
trying. So I also think that oh, sorry, Gigi, if you got something to say, you just got to get in here because me and Layla are so annoying and I'm a real ranter. I'm
Okay.
a real ranter. I also found it really frustrating. Like in Twilight, Bella is like, wow, Edward, you talk like you're from the past because he is, and she
Yeah.
doesn't talk that way. Anna, Christian, Kate, every character in 50 Shades talks like they're in Greece, but they're not the cool kids in Greece. They're the nerds.
Uh-huh.
I was just telling Tina this is something that really irked me, and it's something that irks me in general, is I really dislike it when British writers don't take the time to like learn how Americans speak and think.
Hmm.
And it
Because at this point, just make your characters British.
okay,
Right.
I think it's the British factor, but it's also the age difference.
Yes, it's not a good combo.
It's both. And it also is an aversion to talking about, like, for example, um, backside slash bottom. My advice for writers of like erotic scenes is the best thing you can do is like what the characters call it, you call it that. Don't
Yeah.
if you're in the middle of a sex scene, oh, he grabbed my backside. No,
Yeah,
he
that
grabbed
drives me
my ass. Like
crazy.
that's your ass. Also, I the sh- quote there, quote down there, quote my lower stomach, quote my sex. I know that she uses clit, she never would ever say pussy, but like every time this adult woman said, I could feel it
Dot
down
dot dot
there.
down there.
It just like reminds me of how like how important it is to teach young children what their body parts are called. Like
Hmm.
down there.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, that's like a big, I'm a mom, so like that's a big push,
Amazing.
yes, of making sure you use the real words with your children and
Yes.
not calling a vagina a purse, I think.
Oh, we've heard I forget Leela, do you remember who said this on our show? That girls have woozies and boys have doozies is what they were taught.
Sounds like Mary Clay, but maybe not.
Granted, I mean, not only is it important for children's safety to know their own body parts, it's important for their agency. It's also very funny. If you are changing, this happened to me once when I was babysitting. I was changing the diaper of a 2 or 3 year old, and she said, "After you wipe my labia, don't forget to wipe my anus." And I said, "Thank you, I will."
Yes, ma'am.
And an important thing to note there, front to back.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
smart. So smart.
Oh my gosh.
We had some good laughs.
Yeah, I also wanted to bring up like how angry the BDSM community was after this book came out. Because of I think I was reading through some of it, and the most interesting thing to me that makes sense is that basically Christian is depicted as wanting to have this BDSM, this Dom sub relationship because he was molested. I mean, I don't know how we want to term
He
his
He
relationship.
was.
yeah,
He
he
doesn't
was
consider it that, but he
groomed
was.
and yes, like repeatedly
Yeah.
molested by an adult who he is still friends with.
So
Yes.
upsetting.
Yeah.
So upsetting.
Yeah, and so I think I was like if the book makes it sound like that if you are interested in that kind of sexual relationship, it is because you have gone through some trauma, that something is broken in you,
Yeah,
basically.
something's wrong
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah, and anyway, I thought that they have done studies now that have shown that that is just a healthy part of certain people's sexual interests, and there's doesn't have anything to do with mental health.
Yeah. Yes. Like it's a classic. Like there are so few high profile, widely read BDSM stories. The fact that this is the one and this is how it's represented is really upsetting. Also,
Yeah.
like she feels groomed to me also because she
hmm
is so inexperienced that he's like, well, I'll take your virginity away so that you can then belong to me after
Right.
that and like
Yeah.
have sex on my terms. And then when she's like, I don't like your terms, he's like, then I guess you need to go.
Yeah.
Well, and she says, and like all the time, just like Bella, why me? Why me? Like, why do you like me?
She's
And
shaking her titties.
and surely they can tell by my voice. Um, and the answer that he gives like almost every time is like, I love your innocence. And I'm like, "Ugh." Every time he says
Yeah.
something like that, I'm like, girl, run.
Yeah.
What the hell? He
Yes.
doesn't say, I love your smart mouth. I love how, I don't know. I love your tits. He doesn't say anything. He just says,
I
I love
love
your
your
innocence.
innocence. I want someone that I can mold to my liking.
hmm Yeah.
It's
It's
so
really,
icky.
yeah. It's that's my cringe right there.
Yeah. And because of this, much like in Twilight, but like a lot of what happens in the sex department in 50 Shades is like instead a romance thing in Twilight. But
hmm
like Christian Grey ends up knowing Anna's body a lot better than she does. Like he understands how, for example, female bodies work. She is on record saying she doesn't masturbate, which is a very, 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 very bad choice for a character. She doesn't know how computers work and she doesn't masturbate. What is this woman doing in her spare time? Just reading Wuthering Heights over and over again.
She's working at that hardware store.
Working at the
She's
hardware store, the only cool thing about her, but I feel like it's so that she can identify the things that are in his sex dungeon.
That's the only reason why. Like, it's crazy. She also doesn't, she's not like those other girls who like to work out, you know what I mean? It's like
Of
her,
course.
so she also doesn't like to work out.
But she also is so skinny, but
So
she also
skinny.
doesn't eat. So that's awesome. All of that is really cool.
Yeah, that really pissed me out. And honestly, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I did agree with Christian a little bit
You
every
needed
time
to
he was
eat.
like, "Did you eat today? It's 6 p.m." And she was
She's like,
like,
oh my God, he's
"Oh
so
crap.
bossy.
Oh crap. I haven't eaten. Now he's gonna be mad and he's gonna spanky me." And I'm like,
Yeah. Unfortunately,
well.
like 50% of his rules, I was like, well, girl, that's just kind of getting out of college and getting into your late 20s. Um, yeah, so I don't like, well, first of all, I don't like that he knows her body better than she does. And then second of all, sex in this is depicted so unrealistically. And I think that's why, like, this book was so beloved by, like, older women. Like, a lot of, like, moms and Layla's
Yeah.
grandma were reading this. Like, she, first of all, comes from her first time having vaginal intercourse, which is not common, especially because there is a on-screen hymen break. That's not
Yeah.
the greatest feeling in the world. Quote, he quote rips through my virginity.
Mm.
I hate it.
He
Also,
comes,
virginity is not a real thing. Shut the fuck up.
yeah,
It's not
call it a
like this
hymen.
concrete thing.
Just say hymen. That's the body part we're talking about. Which is also Leela's maiden name and my grandpa's name.
Yep. Shout out.
Really?
Yeah, it's a New
Yeah.
England thing.
It's my grandma that I was talking about last name, so shout out.
Um, she comes I'm not saying like women come. Okay, there's women who come from vaginal intercourse. I've been known to do it in my day, but the way that she's just like constantly coming on command from vaginal intercourse is so unrealistic, I think, for like a lot of women. What do you all think about this if you wish to share?
I'm gonna be a little careful. I agree with you. I think it's probably a little unrealistic.
Um, I there was a lot of stuff in here that was hit a nerve with me. Listeners know that I have some religious trauma, definitely related to sex and purity, and so because of that, I to this day like being able to pleasure myself successfully is something that I have to work at. It's not something that's I've been doing my whole life and that comes easily to me. And coming easily doesn't come easily to me.
The coming doesn't come easy.
It doesn't, and so I kind of like can disgustingly relate to this, like, oh, I didn't even know I could feel these things until a dick went inside me. You know what I mean? Like it sucks, but like I do get that. It's just that they don't mention any kind of reason for her to be that way at all. How
Yeah,
has
Yeah,
she made it through college and hasn't gotten curious even one time?
about
right.
like a button
It
that is at where her
it like
hand
makes you
goes.
think she may be asexual, but then like she's just so clearly not.
So clearly not. Like
I
I've
don't know.
always thought about how crazy it is that anyone should ever say that like masturbating isn't something that God designed because the button is where your hand just naturally falls. Like it's at hand length. Like it's right there. Now I'm doing an Anastasia. It's called the
Yeah.
clitoris. It's a dinosaur.
Yeah, I think like this book, I think it's like that kind of a purity culture almost coming from that is what it makes me think of like, but then we're gonna flip it, but it just gets it so wrong.
Yeah, it's like borrowing the Mormon purity culture from Twilight, but then turning it into BDSM, which is
Yeah.
the weirdest choice you could make.
It is a weird choice. They ironically skip over like any gray areas, I feel like, and they just go
Yeah.
completely the opposite way. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, like during the first part when they were having quote unquote vanilla sex, I was like, I'm not into this. This is
Yes.
nice.
Normal
This is
sex is
nice.
really fun. Anyone in a
That's
long-term
my
relationship will
jam.
tell you vanilla can be super fun if you're with the right person.
Yeah, it's about the connection and the chemistry, right? But
Yeah.
Yeah, my boyfriend and I are always like, "You want to try something freaky?" And we're like,
yeah,
"Someday, for sure."
yeah, maybe when this stops being so fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But yeah, I think so let's talk about like the upsetting parts of the BDSM, right?
Hmm.
Um I've already stated I'm not exactly a certified freak. As famously I say, certified freak once every 2 weeks. It's about when I like it. Um, and but even I know that BDSM is not about it's not about like total 100% your entire life control. I know that it can have those elements.
It like definitely can be, but like I think that the essential problem with this is the dom being like, I want you to live this lifestyle, a lifestyle which before today you have no knowledge of. I think that a sub, and this happens all the time, this is super normal, super healthy, and for certain kinds of people it can be so fun and freeing to be like, I want to get into a relationship where someone else is making the choices for me. That it's ever all the agency is supposed to be on the submissive. The submissive puts up the boundaries. The submissive has the safe word. The submissive is the one like pursuing this dynamic because it serves them in some way. This doesn't serve Anna at all.
And it's like
Right.
maybe E.L. James Googled made like one hasty Google
It
about BDSM.
it's giving I just learned what BDSM is yesterday.
Because if you notice, she does, there's like maybe, I think it's 2 times, maybe more, maybe just 2 times throughout this whole book where Christian is really trying to convince her, but it's all about the sub. It's really all about the sub's pleasure and the sub having control. And I'm like, you keep saying that, but you're not showing that to be true at all.
Well, and
At
also
all.
because he doesn't give her the opportunity to consent. She's thinking about it and he's like, "Well, I'm the boss of you now."
Yeah. And isn't that the whole thing where she doesn't want to sign the final paperwork and she doesn't actually get to
She
it?
doesn't do it.
Yeah, and I mean, so the whole story is just like them. I guess it is like they're in like this gray thing in their
Oh my god.
relationship. I'm sorry to do that, but
It is a good title, but she does say Mr. 50
Oh,
Shades over there like a dozen times, and I'm like, please stop.
I think it would have been clever to say one time. And
Yeah,
then,
he says, I'm 50 Shades of Fucked Up. That's where you get the title from. Do
yep.
not mention it again.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. Yeah.
And she calls him 50 Shades like
Yeah,
50
man,
times.
we saw the cover of the book. Yeah,
Okay, so I have to ask, what did y'all think? Did you watch the movies?
I couldn't tell you.
Oh.
I could not tell you if I've seen. I definitely didn't see the sequels. I don't know. I don't remember if I've seen the first one.
I did not. I did not watch it, which is, I mean, maybe this is something that we'll do for the pod.
Yeah, that would
Um,
be fun because it's
we
so much easier than a 20-hour audiobook.
I was gonna say, and I will tell you, Gigi, that we had not concrete plans, but we had plans of perhaps pursuing the sequels. And I gotta tell you, after this, I was texting Tina, and I was like, "There's no do
Mm,
we are not doing that. I
say,
can't do this."
I
no.
gotta say, before we start recording today, Leela, I did read the plots of the two sequels. Now, the plot of this book to me feels like the plot of any Twilight book, which is two people negotiate a relationship that is bad for both of them that no one wants,
Yeah.
which is not that exciting for 500 pages. The plots of the next two books are crazy. There's gun violence,
What?
there's pregnancy, there's marriage, there's
Hmm.
stalking. There is a lot going on in the next two, Leela. So like maybe they would be a lot more fun just for at least
Okay.
being like crazy.
Well, I'll tell y'all. So our thing is, I love movies that are so bad they're good, you know?
Yeah,
Same.
And I
way better than a
think
book. I think that's so bad it's good.
yes, I
Yeah.
definitely think that the 50 Shades trilogy, the movies, fall into that camp pretty well.
Okay.
Really?
And
Okay.
yes, and so like I think my husband and I watched all three like over a long weekend, like drinking and just
Yes.
being
That
like,
sounds right.
what is this? Like, so yeah, that's my recommendation for you.
I will say, I have to confess to a bit of not being a girl's girl. And I what's her name? Dakota.
Yeah.
Dakota
Dakota not fanning. Dakota
Johnson.
Johnson.
Dakota
Hmm.
Johnson. For like many years after that movie was produced, I like didn't like her because I was like, that was a dumb fucking role for you. And that was wrong of me. And she deserved a paycheck for doing something that was probably really fun to shoot.
Hmm.
And I respect her and I've seen her in other stuff and she's a fun actor.
I
She
saw her in
is.
Madam Web, and that's like the only
Okay,
other
well,
thing I've seen her in,
oh
and it
my
was
God.
so
Okay,
bad.
Madam Web is bad, but that's not fair. What did I see her in that made me laugh so much?
Let's see.
Dakota.
I did like the Jamie Dornan casting. I think he is handsome.
What has he been in anything else?
He's like an Irish actor, so I think he was like in The Fall, which is a UK like serial killer show.
Mm-hmm.
He was in oh gosh, there's like an Irish movie that my parents love. Let me see. But yeah, that was another whole thing is that the fans, like what I say, was like going back and like just reading the news from the various years. So like there was one year where like fans were up in arms about the casting of the film, and it was originally going to be Human, and so anyway.
I remembered the one thing I've seen Dakota Johnson in. I guess I don't actually know if she's a good actor based on this one thing that I've seen her in recently because I watched it recently because I guessed it on TV Movie and Trivia Pod recently talking about Leela. Do you remember what movie?
Oh, 21 Jump Street. She
She's
is
in
in that.
21 Jump
Oh.
Street as like a cop who's always like, fuck you, we're better detectives than you, Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill. So that's like very fun. Not a good representation of if she's a good actor. Let's see. I have a couple other. Did anyone have anything else to say about the BDSM aspect? I think it's just bad. I think that probably like we don't. I mean, I'll speak for myself. I don't feel like I know enough about like deep BDSM to like really speak more. I do know that a couple things. One, a lot of BDSM is teased in this book, and what we get is very, very, very light spanking and being tied up. And that is
Mhm.
what
And the belt.
And the belt. That's what 17-year-olds do when they're like, what is BDSM? Let me tie up my girlfriend with at least in my
A
experience.
tie,
I
yeah.
dabbled in these things when I was still in high school and was like, well, that was fun thing to do one time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just think when you go to like his list of hard limits, it's like it's basically like, yeah, I'm a huge reader. I'm like big into reading. I'll read everything except for science fiction, fantasy, historical fiction, memoirs, nonfiction. And then you list every genre except for like war history. And it's like, okay, so you like war history. Like,
Uh-huh.
like I don't know if that makes you like a diverse reader. Like he only wants to hit her and tie her up and boss her around.
Yeah. I don't know too much. I don't know much more about that, but I did what I researched on it was, yeah, it was totally not in the realm of what normally happens. So,
There's like a lot of cool things that they don't talk about that can be really fun and sexy without being getting into like piss play. Like like voyeurism and exhibitionism. That's really fun. That doesn't come up at all. I don't know a single other thing, but that's one. Let's check out my in case you guys wish to view my Christian versus Edward Venn diagram.
okay.
Oh, I wish.
Um, the biggest difference between them, in my opinion, is that Christian Grey wears jeans and Edward Cullen wears khakis.
Honestly, yeah, totally.
Christian's a slut and Edward is a virgin. Um, they're both white men, older than her, suave and handsome, controlling, super coordinated. A lot of these can be vampire things, but still. I'm not good for you, followed by relentless pursuit.
Yeah.
Um, he's a total stalker, but because it's him, I don't mind. Um, eclectic taste of music. He knows what you need better than you. Sad boy piano. Um, I think Edward Cullen and Christian Grey both say the exact line, and this is where fanfic. You should
hmm
not be stealing direct lines and then be monetizing them.
Yeah.
I'm breaking all the rules now. I can't remember if that's a Twilight book quote or just a movie quote. He definitely says it in the movie, and Christian Grey says it in this.
hmm
Daddy Dom talks like they're from 100 years ago, emotionally mercurial to the point of being abusive. That is something that we haven't talked about yet about how Edward Cullen does this too, but this episode's about 50 Shades of Grey. His Christian Grey's like tormented past and his like mercurial sensibilities, he is so emotional and like does not share anything with Anna, and that gets all like wrapped up in his like dominant persona. But being abusive, emotionally withholding, very unpredictable, mood swings, that is not dominant.
Right.
That's just being a bad partner and abusive.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think what really, not to victim shame, but to victim shame, what really pisses me off about Anna's reaction to every time this guy's fucking gaze darkens, which by the way,
Oh my
ladies,
god. We
if
need to
his
make a
gaze
drinking game
darkens,
for this book.
run. Every time his gaze darkens, every time the mood changes, all of those different descriptions, she just immediately she's like, "What did I do?
What did
What did
I
I
do?
do? What did
Mm,
I do? Oh no, what did I do?" And like every single time, all she did was like try to ask him a question about himself.
I think that the problem with Anna and Bella is that neither one of them had, like, I think we can victim blame because neither one of them has any reason to react this way. If they had some kind of backstory that provided an explanation for why they would, like an abusive parent or something,
Yeah.
to explain why they jumped to this conclusion, yes, that is something that he's taking advantage of. But them just like these dumb idiot bitches just chasing these monster men. Stop it.
yeah, it's totally unrealistic, I think, of how he act. I just feel like a normal relationship, if someone was acting the way Christian Grey acts, it would be totally unattractive. It would
Yeah.
be, I mean, I unless you are just uh, piece of paper and you know anyone can push you around, you're gonna leave. I don't know
Yeah.
who would put up with this.
She just has no experience, but like the thing for me is that like okay, maybe if no one has ever laid eyes on her. Like I'm watching Downton Abbey right now, and the poor middle child is like, no one ever wants me. So then when like the one nice old guy is interested in her, she's like, please, yes, please.
Uh-huh.
Every man is always throwing themselves at this woman. She should be used to it by now. She should have defenses to be. She gets Jose'd apparently all the time. Like, why aren't you stronger than this?
Yeah, I don't know.
She's like, I should give Jose a chance, and I'm like, kind of. I know he kind of sexually harassed you.
Yeah, it's hard for me to get past that part, but other than that, he seems like a nice
Seems like a
guy.
nice guy.
Team Jose.
Team Jose, justice for Jose. Something, well, since we're talking about Christian and you mentioned his eclectic music taste, there's a
Oh
quote
my
that
God, I'm so sick of young men being like, "Oh, it's Debussy or whatever."
yeah, whatever. But I was on a walk listening to this and I laughed so hard I like had to stop walking because I was gonna trip. Um, I'm such an Anastasia. But he said something along it was like the first time he's driving her back home in his car himself. And he connects to his fancy iPod Touch or whatever. And he starts playing something classical. And she's like, wow, what is this? And he's like, it's blah, blah, blah. It's Bach or whatever. And then she goes, well, what, do you like classical music? And to make conversation, he goes, I have very eclectic music tastes. My tastes range from Bach to Kings of Leon.
Kings of Leon. 2012 was their heyday. I
That was a good year for them.
Yeah, but it's just like that's it. I was like, what's between those two?
and then
Like,
she puts on Britney Spears, and he's like, "No, that's not my music."
it's like this is your iPod.
Um. Okay. Yeah. I just got to say a couple other language choices. Leela, you mentioned the gaze darkening. He also approximately 762 times regards her intently.
Yes, he does.
Um, let me see. The language so like I mentioned, not only is this an American Girl written by a British lady, it's also a 22-year-old written by at the time I think like a 50-year-old, 45. It would have been about a 50-year-old, almost 50. Um, she's just the way that the characters speak is all nonsense. Imagine Leela, you and me, we didn't know each other in 2011, but we were both about this age. I was 20, you were 19.
Yes.
Not to completely dox your age, but if I had gotten laid in 2011 and you are my best friend and we are both about 20, I would say, oh my God, you would not believe who I fucked last night. You would not believe, oh my God, Christian stayed over and we slept together. We fucked. What are some more?
We did it.
We totally did it, dude.
Banged.
We banged. Yeah, banged.
Just
Banged was so big.
Banged was big, yeah.
Okay. She and her best friend are like, did you make love? I can't wait to make love. Making love. No one in college. I don't care what school you're at. No one in college is going out and making love. And like, not only Anastasia is like, will you make love to me? Which is a really embarrassing thing to say to a man.
Yeah, agreed.
If I said that to my boyfriend, he'd be like, no, I don't know what that is. But then she goes home and her best friend is like, did you guys make love?
Like, ew.
This is
What
not
is
how
wrong with
young
you?
women speak to each other at all.
Uh-uh.
She loses her virginity and she calls her first time having sex astounding.
Mhm.
Astounding. Like I mentioned, I've been watching Downton Abbey a lot because I've been sick. I've binged like the first 2 seasons in the last 2 days. I've never seen it before. So it's kind of living rent free in my brain. And I kept imagining the Dowager Countess, portrayed by Dame Maggie Smith, in my head being like, that sexual encounter was astounding.
Yeah.
She says, horrid, dreadful.
Yes. She also says trousers all the time, which we don't say.
Trousers.
Yeah.
There's this one line. I cannot believe that I heard this sentence in my ears, and I beg you to imagine the late great Maggie Smith delivering this line.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
ready.
Thank heaven I have retained my panties. What is this writing? It's
I,
so bad.
aren't the editors supposed to catch some of this? I mean,
Here's the thing. Yes, I always blame the editors for writing like this. And then there's a lot
mhm,
of other stuff that the editors should have caught. Like, I don't remember any exact details because this is the kind of shit I would have highlighted if I had read it with my eyes. But like, there was a lot of lines that were like, I held my voice steady so there wouldn't be a quaver in my voice.
Yes, I heard a lot of those.
And I was like, oh my God, fucking kill me. Like I wish I could unread this in my brain. So there's a lot of stuff in here that I hold an editor accountable for, but I unfortunately think the problem was in the publication, how it came to be. It existed in the way it was online, and you said however many times it had been read
mhm,
online.
yeah,
Like it was so crazy popular online. They had to first of all get this turned around in a very short amount of time so that this was turned around in less than a year, which is a very, 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 very short book production period, because they had to catch that wave before it started
yeah,
fizzling out of people being interested online. And then also what they told themselves is people are reading it exactly like it is.
right.
I would guess that this had one pass by a copy editor based on its condition.
Yeah, that makes sense though, because they probably were just like, why do we have to change anything? People already are reading it.
Yeah, and I don't know a lot about E.L. James, so I might be kind of projecting some of what I know about Stephanie Meyer onto E.L. James, but
Mm,
if someone has that kind of bargaining power and they're being kind of difficult, sometimes it's like not worth the argument. Now, I don't know if E.L. James would have been a difficult author to work with, but I've worked with a lot of difficult authors and they are very precious about their work. So if she pushed back a shit ton, for example, during like the contract negotiation phase, if she was like really, really annoying, and pushed back a lot during the initial like business phases, and they're trying to get this turned around and they get to the editing phase and they're like, oh my God, let's just not. People are gonna buy it, and they obviously did.
yeah.
But it is written so fucking awfully, dude.
Hmm.
There's a lot of sentences like that, like his gaze darkened. I don't know what I did wrong. I thought darkly. Like phrases like that, where it's like
Yeah,
that would have been so easy to fix.
yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
this was not edited.
She had
Yeah.
like just so many like yeah little things. She said, "Oh my!" Like it was just like the most lazily written thing I've ever read. Like everything that happened was, "Oh my! Oh shit! Oh crap!" Like, "Oh crap! Is this really happening? Oh crap! Did he just do that?" Oh my, that feels delectable. Like, oh, right. Anything else?
I
And
think
then
there was sorry, go
on
ahead.
top of that, there were so many times when like something would happen, some plot thing would happen, some character would say something, and then Anna would not react in the narrative. I'm like, why? Is it because oh my doesn't work here? We can't have her be like, damn, well that's kind of a bummer, or like whatever. Like
Oh,
I
horribly
think
written.
it's also similar to Bella in the sense that Bella has a lot that she says in her head and not that much that she says out loud. Where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
actually, I was just listening to your episode, Gigi, of your podcast about red, white, and royal blue,
oh yeah.
I
because
love
I
that
was
book.
because we love that book, and I
Yes.
wanted to listen to an episode about a book I like.
Hmm.
Yep, there, behold. That you were talking about a trope that tropes that you don't like in romance novels are like something that would be solved in 2 seconds if anyone
Right.
just communicated.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's very prevalent here with both of them to an extent because I will say when Anna tries to communicate, his gaze be darkening, and then he gets mad and moody.
Yeah, but like on
So
Yeah.
his end, hey, honey, I totally understand why you would want to know this, but I'm not really comfortable talking about it right now. Do you mind if we just kind of like shelf this and I'll let you know when I feel comfortable talking about it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Yeah.
think
Like
men
an
were
adult?
like that self-aware back in 2011 in general?
I
Like,
don't think they are now, dude.
yeah, but I feel like therapy has come. I mean, it's gone too far. We've already had an episode about that. It's kind of gone full circle now, where people are weaponizing and men especially are weaponizing therapy talk. But
Stop
like,
projecting your traumas onto me by
yeah.
saying you don't like the way I talk to you.
But I mean, think about what happened when Anna tried to fucking pay the bill at IHOP. He said, "Could you emasculate me any further?" I mean, that's like old school.
It really
Who even
is.
Yeah.
thinks about that anymore?
That
No.
really is semicolon. Give me a man who pays for everything.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Man, does anyone else have anything to say? Anything else to say? Wait, what? Does anyone have anything else to say about 50 Shades of Grey?
Of gray, it
Anything
rhymes.
we haven't talked about yet?
I think I got all my facts out. I have a story, but I think I'm gonna save it for the Twilight because it goes for both of them.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Cliffhanger, y'all. That means you have to check out our episode over on Drinks in the Library on February 10th. Is that what you said?
Yes, February 10th. Yes.
Very
It's a
excited about that.
Tuesday. Tuesdays.
Okay, hell yes.
Okay.
Let's do this, Gigi, on a scale of 1 to 50 Shades of Grey. How many shades of gray would you give this book?
I mean, I, I mean, I do like that part where she says he's 50 shades of fucked up. So I like
That's a
that.
pretty good line.
It's a good line. I'll give it that one.
Okay.
One.
One
One
shade.
shade. Leela, what about you? How many shades?
Ooh, I'm trying to think about anything else I liked about that book too, just really quickly.
It's a book.
It's a book. What did I like? Um, yeah, I think it's gonna get a half shade from me. Um, because that while that like that line is fine, and but I think that, and I give it a half shade because it made me laugh out loud from how embarrassed
Mm.
I was. I was so you get to the level of cringe where you're so embarrassed that there's nothing you can do except laugh or die, and I chose laugh. So it gets a half shade from me.
Okay.
What about you, Tina?
Um, I think I'm a bit kinder than y'all. I've read
Oh.
I've read books. Oh God, it really is so bad though. I'm the kind of person where if it's anything less than a 4 on Storycraft, I just don't rate it because I don't want to be mean. Except for this, I gave it a 1.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I would give it maybe like a 6 shades of gray
Hmm.
because like you have to give it credit. The sentences
Exists.
convey meaning. Like they are generally grammatically correct. There are characters and I know who those characters are.
Hmm.
And there's a premise and that premise has been enough to get me to read it 3 times. This is not so bad it's fun,
Okay.
which is
No.
how I feel about Twilight. This is
Yeah.
not fun.
I,
I
I,
hated reading this. And I will say I listened to the audiobook and I usually listen to audiobooks on 1.25 speed because
Hmm.
narrators speak clearly, they take their time, and I generally think 1.25, sometimes 1.5 is uh, replicates a normal speaking speed.
Hmm.
With some exceptions, I can't do Lord of the Rings that fast because I'm like, what are these names?
Yeah.
Um, this I listened to on 2.5 speed.
whoa.
And I have always thought that I could not comprehend audiobooks at that speed, but this one I could. I definitely could. I got really used to it. So I appreciate that this gave me the opportunity to practice listening to audiobooks at a higher speed. And
Bitch,
it
you are
just
grasping.
it
That's
blasted past. No, this is not part of my rating.
okay.
That's just a fun fact for me. That's the main value I'm taking away from this reading this episode and a little bit of practice.
I love that.
Leela, you want to introduce our game? We call it a game, but
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah. We'd like to play a little mini game this time of the show. The game is called Horny, Sad, or Just Plain Bad. Um, Gigi, do you feel that 50 Shades of Grey by E.L. James is horny, sad, or just plain bad?
I mean, it's obviously horny. Like, it's obviously, right? But I feel like just plain bad. I mean, can you mix the two?
You can mix the two.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Leela,
That's
Like
what
my
if
about
you
vote.
you?
would you say like an equal 50 mix?
I
I'm just curious.
no, I would say 25% horny,
Mm-hmm.
75% just plain bad.
That
That
sounds
would
I
be.
great
think
to me.
that's right.
What about you, Leela?
I know that it's supposed to be horny, and you know what? Like I said, that the like what two vanilla scenes or however many there were. The first one, I felt a little something dot 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 down there. I'm not
Down
gonna lie,
there.
but so I think for that I'll give it 10% horn, 90% just plain bad. Ooh, hold on, because I think it is also sad. It's coming in.
What
It's
part is
coming.
sad?
Um, I think that I guess like more on a like a broader level, I think that it's really sad that like you
Mm.
said this is the representation that we get to see for this community. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's sad that lots of women read this and said this is how I want to be treated. Um
And then
I
E.L. James is like a multimillionaire from this, and she just gets to think she's right about it.
Yeah, so I think that's sad. So I think I'm gonna go 10%. I'm gonna go 10% horny, 10% sad, 80% just plain bad.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, dis disenchanted housewives out there, the boring, consistent sex with your loving husband is way better than whatever this is. I'm going full just plain bad because
Okay.
from a user experience, none of this was horny for me. I see you're sad. I do. I get that and I accept your reasonings for bringing sad into it. However, for me, full bad. Everything is bad. The writing, bad. The characters, bad. The plot, bad. The representation of the BDSM community, bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah. Hey, E.L. James, if you want to defend yourself, feel free to come on our podcast.
We'll be so nice to you.
We will be way nicer to you, I promise.
That is not the first time we've destroyed a book and then invited the author.
Yeah. It's so weird. Like, no, none of them have actually said they wanted to come on. But no, we never destroy books of like
Yes.
of like charming, darling, like indie authors.
No, we
We're not
only
that type of girls.
We only destroy books of authors who are more famous and richer than God
Yes.
Yes.
because we
Fair
can't touch
enough.
them. We can't touch them.
Yeah.
Wow. Gigi, thank you so much for coming on the
Thank
show. This has been
you.
an absolute delight. Where can the listeners find you on the internet?
Absolutely. So Drinks in the Library, it's basically anywhere you go. It's drinksinthelibrary.com. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Threads. I am on TikTok, even though apparently TikTok is now being canceled. So TBD.
Hard to keep up. I know.
Yeah, it is. Hard to keep up.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, Drinks in the Library. My name's Gigi Howard, and I'm here in Richmond. And yeah, come find me.
Amazing. Yeah, be sure to check out her show. Subscribe today so that you get
Yes.
updated in next week when we guest to talk about Twilight, which is a book.
Yes.
I'm really happy we decided to record these episodes in this order because I have so much more fun talking about Twilight.
Yeah, I agree. Kind of like get the harder, more painful part done first.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Good.
That's it for Born Before Reading.
Until next week, remember,
Your cringe is part of you.
but holy crap, it's just a huge, long part of you.
Bad.
It's really bad.
Full bad.
Full bad.
Thanks for listening to Burn Before Reading.
Created by me, Christina Kahn.
Hosted and produced by Christina Kahn and me, Leela Hilton.
Logo designed by Michael Hardison. Follow him on Instagram at RoyGBivRVA or check out his work at wildlingpress.com.
Theme music by Sakura Wishes.
Find me online at Christina Kahn.
And find me at Leels for Reels.
Follow the podcast on Instagram and Tumblr at BurnBeforePod.
Or feel free to give us an email at burnbeforepod@gmail.com.
Thanks for listening, friends.
See you next time.